Hello, hello, hello. I am so excited about today's topic. So, the reason you are seeing this is because you have joined Patreon as my patron. Woo! And you are in the woo tier, where I'm going to teach you about all things woo. And we're going to start with spiritual gifts. So there are many types of sessions that I offer, but I prefer for people to start with a spiritual gift session. And so I want to teach you all about a spiritual gift session so that you can decide if that's something that you're interested in, or I'll also give you the tools to do it yourself. So let's go. What the heck is a spiritual gift? That's what I wondered when I first heard about it. I joined a Facebook group once upon a time. It no longer exists. And it was led by my friend, Cami Orange. And it was, I don't even know what she called it. She may have called it the Spiritual Gifts Group. But in that group, the first thing that she taught me was all about spiritual gifts. And so I'm going to teach you what she taught me with my own little twist. So we are all born with gifts. We have gifts innately within us. And that's what I'm referring to as spiritual gifts. So there are two categories of spiritual gifts. There are divine abilities and divine affinities. A divine ability is something that you can do, and you're just really good at it. And you actually have the seeds for all the spiritual gifts within you, but some of them are dormant and have never been developed. Some of them are just exploding, that you're just amazing with these gifts and you may not even know it. And so I'm excited to point them out to you. There's also everything in between. If there's a spiritual gift that's either dormant or not fully developed, you can develop that. There are ways to do that. You can do that by communicating with a higher power, like the earth or the universe, or if you believe in God. I like to refer to it as GUP. It's an acronym for God, Universe, Higher Power, and they can help you. And you can either do it instantly, which is a download, or you can develop it at your own pace. I'm more of a develop kind of girl myself. And I like to do things on my own, which is probably I'm more of a developed kind of girl. I'm not the kind of girl that's going to be like, okay, universe, this is what I need. Give it to me. Most of the time I'm going to be like, okay, universe, I hope you have my back. This is what I'm doing. And that's just my personality. There's not a right or wrong way to do that. You do what works for you. So examples of divine abilities. First thing that comes to mind are empath gifts. A lot of the people that I attract are empaths. Let's see. One that has really been hard on people lately is the assembly empath. So if you remember January 6th when people stormed the Capitol, it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. That affected us all. Okay. And if you don't even have to follow politics to have been affected. If you're an assembly empath, then you can feel that rise of emotion, the huge emotion that the people attacking the Capitol were feeling as it was like a righteous indignation. The fear of the senators and the Congress people inside, the fear and determination of the police that were trying to stop it, the fear and sadness of the American people, and it radiated to the world. People outside of the United States were feeling feelings about this. So as an assembly empath, I'm a very strong assembly empath. I was feeling a lot of feelings that day. And it was a little hard to deal with. So yeah, that's something that we can talk about too. So that's a divine ability, divine ability. But it's a good thing too. Sorry, the example I just gave you is kind of scary. A good example of an assembly empath, if you're a performing artist and you get up to sing in front of an audience, you can feel the energy of the audience. You can feel, like, say you're a comedian and you're telling jokes and your audience is just not with you. They're not understanding. You can feel that. Or if you're singing a song and your audience doesn't really like that, you can feel that. On the other hand, if you're a comedian and you tell a joke that just lands perfectly, you don't just hear the laughter, you feel it. You feel it with your bones that these people are genuinely amused. And as a group, and also with, if you're a singer or a piano player and you play a song that really resonates with your audience, you can feel that joy, that spiritual connection that you get to music that your audience is feeling. So those are some of the attributes of an assembly empath. And I am an assembly empath and I love it most of the time. It wasn't my favorite on 9/11, and it was not my favorite on January 6th of 2021. That makes me think there's some numerological significance there, right? One was 2001, one was 2021. Okay, moving on. Then there are divine affinities. What is a divine affinity? A divine affinity is where you have an attraction to something. It's like within you. It's almost like you have a part of it in you. Like if you have a divine affinity for horses, you might look a little bit like a horse. I don't know. I have a divine affinity for cats. Do I look like a cat? You don't necessarily have to look like your affinity, but sometimes it does happen. I just know the way mine expresses, I love cats so much that when I don't have one, it is physically painful. They're like my emotional support animal. They are, what is that word I'm looking for? My familiar. I see myself as a witchy woo person. And so, yes, my cat is definitely my familiar. And I talk to my cat. I cuddle with my cat. I sleep with my cat. Sometimes people can have a divine affinity for something that doesn't immediately make sense. Let's stick with the cat analogy. So suppose someone finds out they have a divine affinity for cats, but they don't really care for cats. So they're like, what the heck are you talking about, Susie? I don't like cats. But maybe they have an affinity for making sure that wild cats have a safe habitat. Or I don't know, maybe they like the play cats. I don't know, because it's so individual. Affinities are very individual, how they affect us. So if you find out you have an affinity that doesn't make sense to you, I encourage you to look deeper and figure out, okay, what's another angle we could come at this? What is another way to have an affinity for cats without having a cat as a pet? And yeah, that's what you can do. So through this series, every video I am going to share one divine ability or divine affinity. And there are a lot of them. So this series is going to go on for a long time. And in order to have access to these videos, you need to be a patron on Patreon. The Woo tier is $15 a month, and it entitles you to all of these videos. Plus, you get all my YouTube videos without ads. So I look forward to seeing you again. I hope I've sparked your interest, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye now.